Hi, I'm Barb. Normally we have very lighthearted videos about the adventures that we have, and today, believe it or not, I'm going to try to talk about something a little more serious, about when this sweet girl, Sadie Jane, our sweet little puppy, was diagnosed with lymphoma. That was almost 6 years ago in 2014 that we got this terrible news. And let me tell you about the journey from that to, let me see if I can get her to look around here, to this. Stay tuned. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Craig.
Hi, I'm Barb. And along with our boys, we're the Geek Family. And these are our adventures. We believe Sadie is 12 years old, but we can't know for sure because we adopted her from a humane society in 2009. So her age is really just an estimate. In June of, I guess it was 2014, we started to notice that she had swelling in her neck, and we took her to the vet. And the vet we were going to at the time was in his 70s, and he was really spot on with his diagnosis. And normally the tests were just a way to prove that he was right. And when he told me that she had lymphoma, it was absolutely devastating to me. We went ahead and did the biopsy, and as soon as I could pull myself together to walk out of the vet's office, I went home to tell the rest of the family, and that was very, very difficult. Our boys had been in elementary school when we got her, and she was definitely part of the family. After telling my husband about the diagnosis and starting to break the news to the boys, we were trying to do it in stages so that it wasn't so devastating to them. It was probably a couple days after I'd been to the vet that we got a call, and they said that the test had been inconclusive, and the vet's recommendation was to wait and see. And at that point, I couldn't wait and see. So I decided to get a second opinion. We had lived on the other side of Columbus, and when we were there, I'd had a dog previous to Sadie, and I absolutely loved the vet there, but it was really inconvenient to go from our house to there. But I had always trusted him, and I decided that that's where I would go back. So I took Sadie in there, and he ran a couple of tests, and it was lymphoma, and he said that normally lymphoma isn't this hard to diagnose. So he talked to us about doing chemo with her, but he was quite honest. Lymphoma is fatal to dogs, and that lymphoma would give us some time, but it wouldn't save our dog. So he talked about the side effects and what it would do, and we came to the conclusion that we were going to take her home and spoil her for the time that we had her. And we really hoped that we would get to, make it through Christmas with her, because that was about the time that the vet predicted that we would lose her. Well, we made it through Christmas, and she was still doing really well, and we got into January, and I called the vet, and the vet said, well, sometimes because they're animals, that they will mask how sick they are, and you might not see it till closer to the end. Well, by February, I called the vet back, and he said, well, bring her in, I want to see her. And when he did, he suggested that we do some surgery, that we actually remove one of the lymph nodes and have more extensive testing done on it. So, we thought that was a good idea. And so in March, she had this surgery, and they took the lymph node, and you can see here in the picture the scar kind of on her neck where they took the lymph node out. And it was really strange because even to this day, they're not the same size on each side. But he sent that off, and a couple weeks later, it was kind of an odd call because I expected to get something over the phone, and he asked if we could see us. And we went in, and he had this huge document that had all of these different specialists at the OSU vet hospital who was doing the analysis on this, and they basically came to the conclusion that she had an extremely rare form of lymphoma. Most lymphoma is either T cell or B cell, and the vet said the easy way to remember this is T cell's terrible, B cell's bad. T cell is the dog is gone in weeks. They measure the time left in weeks. It's usually just at the most a month or two. B cell is measured in months, but it is, relatively quickly. What Sadie had is T zone lymphoma, which is extremely rare. In fact, our vet, this vet that we had gone back to was in his 50s and said this was the first time he'd ever seen it in practice. And this T zone is very slow growing, and given that she was already 6 years old, they said that they would be really surprised if this would be the cause of her demise, and that most likely she would be able to make it into a normal lifespan of mixed breed dog her size would have. And I mean, this was the best news we could have had, and I know how lucky we are. And I really wish every time somebody got this horrible diagnosis, this is what it was. But the one thing that we, didn't anticipate, or that is the drawback of having this dog who went 8 months of being completely spoiled, and now trying to bring her back to obeying and doing all those things. We've been a little bit successful, but if there was a drawback, it was that. But having gone through this, I think it just makes you realize how precious these little furry members of our family are, and I really feel very, very lucky that our story ended this way and not the way that so many of my friends' dogs who've had this diagnosis have ended.
Getting into the birdseed. Hey, get out of there. Come on, get out of there. Come on, let's go in the house. Let's go in the house. Hey, you missed the bridge. Come on. In the house. In the house. Oh. Sadie. Sadie Jane. Come on, let's go in the house. Come on. Come on. Come on, Sadie. Come on. Come on, in the house. In the house. In the house. Hey. Sweetie? Hey, Sadie. Ah, there you are.
Thank you for watching.